Hey everybody, this is Minion Soldier, and this is Ship Updates. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of break this information up because we got quite a bit of information this week. First off, we're going to go with basically the RTV subscriber edition, which was on Wednesday, that live stream. We're going to kind of go through the information on that, and then we're going to go through the information on Reverse the Verse. Now, I was kind of trolling the forums a little bit and didn't really find too much on there this week, but there was some good stuff on both the Reverse the Verses, and so let's just get right to it. Now, first of all, on the sub edition of RTV, we found out that the Saber was in gray boxing, and then they kind of went back and said, no, it's in white boxing. So I think eventually they settled on it's in white boxing, but it appears that the Saber has just gone straight into production. Right now, the ship status page says stats balancing in progress, so it looks like that thing is just it's headed straight in, and where it's not a situation where, you know, it's like a lot of ships where it says, like, if you look at it, waiting for resource to begin modeling. It looks like it's just gone straight into production. So for those of us that have a Saber, hopefully sooner rather than later. We also found out that the Prowler, which is of course the stealth boarding ship that based on the Tavaran ship, is not in production yet. It goes into production once the Reliant variants are done. And we also heard, I believe, the week before that the Reliant variants are very, very close to being done, like probably within maybe 2 to 3 weeks. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna guess that we're probably gonna see them around November 19th, which would be the anniversary live stream. Now I'm going to be discussing those and some potential with those coming up on the Piracy Show next week, because I've been kind of theory crafting around that and some other things, and I think that there's some potential there, especially with the Saber. But that's just, you know, that's just some idle thoughts, and I'll carry on that train of thought next week. Custom logos and decals for your ship. They hope so, but it is not 100% guaranteed at this point. And that also goes for a lot of like the personal ship customization, sort of like paint jobs and whatnot for your ship. Right now they want to get the ships in game. What they were saying is they want to get all the ships in game that they can before they start really kind of figuring out how they're going to allow you to paint them. So, you know, they want us to have that ability, but they just can't guarantee to what extent that we're going to have it. Now, next up, we found out that the Starfarer was in gray box and that Zane is doing the UI. Now, we know that the Starfarer is going to be the first of sort of the large to capital ships that we are going to be able to see in game. You know, there's a lot of people out there who own the Starfarer Gemini more recently. So for those people, it's kind of, you know, really good news. And hopefully along with that, we'll get a write-up sooner rather than later on the fuel mechanics, like something a little bit more extensive than the information that we've gotten so far. But for those of you that own the Starfarer, it's really starting to look good that that ship is going to be in fairly soon. And given a lot of the chatter, like not really having to do with ship updates in particular, but a lot of the chatter about 2.0, it seems that 2.0 is fairly close. I mean, today on Reverse the Verse, Ben Lesnick was saying it could be 10 seconds, it could be 3 weeks, we don't know, which to me is some very exciting news. So I'm going to kind of put that in there with November 19th. I'm going to just throw a guess out. I mean, this is not official information. This is just me guessing. But, you know, the anniversary sale, it would be a hell of a time to release all this stuff, because, I mean, for a while now, Star Citizen has been kind of up on the ropes, and people have, you know, been talking a lot of shit about Star Citizen lately. And then of course CitizenCon happened, and it was like the beginning of a new round, and you know, Star Citizen just came charging out of its corner and is just, you know, pulverizing the naysayers. And I mean, you know, things are really looking good right now, and I have to say, like, I mean, that would be, you know, one hell of a 1-2 combination to all of a sudden have 2.0 out with the anniversary sale. But that's just, once again, that's just my theory and nothing based on nothing official. Um, Connie variants. Now, we found out on the sub edition of Reverse the Verse that the Connie variants, the Andromeda, is the only one that is going to be done for 2.0, and that the other ones will come sooner. Now, some people have been concerned in regards to how long it took to revamp the Andromeda. I mean, we've been hearing about the Connie revamp for ages and ages now, and it seems for one, I was kind of sitting there going like, wow, I mean, if it took this long to do one variant, and other ships have been kind of pushed aside to make sure that the Connie is done for 2.0. And I was just sitting there thinking, oh my god, once they start working on the Phoenix and the Aquila and all that and the Taurus, it's just going to be it's going to take forever. But we found out, today on Reverse the Verse that in fact a lot of the work that was going to be needed to be done on those variants is part of the Andromeda revamp. So all those variants should come online a heck of a lot faster, they were saying today, than the original sort of revamp of the Andromeda. So hopefully. Now, speaking of revamps, there was also the Freelancer. It seems that they're still working on the concepts for the revamp, is what they were saying, but some of the internal art that they've been sharing amongst themselves, they were saying it looks amazing, that the Freelancer looks absolutely amazing, and I'm actually very curious to see it. I mean, it's been described in the past as a hauler with low sig engines, so I mean, I've kind of been thinking about it from a smuggling point of view, and I've never really keyed into the Freelancer on its looks alone, but I mean, if it really ends up being like a killer smuggling ship, then depending on how this revamp looks, I might just have to think about it. But anyways, Freelancer, not in the immediate future, but hopefully soon we'll be seeing that. Now, they did talk about, and this is a bit of a side piece for Hornet owners, those of you that have the military Hornet body kit, that makes it look like the F7A, which is the military version of the Hornet. Apparently that body kit is part and parcel with the work that's been done on the Hornet for Squadron 42. So I'm guessing around the time that Squadron 42 is released, you should be able to apply those body kits to your ship. So if you own one, hopefully next year you should be able to apply that body kit to your ship and see the difference in appearance between the F7C and the F7A. Now on to Reverse the Verse today, which was the 890 jump was discussed once again. People were asking, are they ever going to sell the 890 jump again? And they were saying, you know what, someday probably they were going to sell it again, which seems to be kind of a departure from, in the past it's been said that it wouldn't be sold again because it was kind of a limited thing, but now they're saying possibly someday. And I definitely think that in terms of variants, there's a possibility to resell that ship. I mean, as a command and control ship, possibly. As a military edition, maybe take the upcoming ship, the Corvette, the replacement for the original Idris, and maybe break that into two ships and use the 890 jump as sort of like a little mini Corvette that's mainly focused on AA or command and control or electronic warfare. It might be a good use for it and a great way to bring the 890 jump back, not so much as a luxury ship, though maybe you can revamp it to a luxury ship through a upgrade kit or whatnot. But I think a command and control vessel or an E-War specialized vessel would possibly be a very interesting something to do, and I think there'd probably be a lot of people who would get on board with that. Now, next up, we found out that the Crucible, which is of course reasonably close to being released, they were talking about they wanted to revamp a little bit of it on the sub version of Reverse the Verse, and they were kind of going back over a little bit of it. But it is a ship that they believe is going to be the next one up for concept sale. And we should expect, we found out today on Reverse the Verse that we should expect an in-depth article on the repair profession to go along with that ship. So hopefully, for those of you who are interested in the Crucible and, kind of being a ship mechanic in the verse, then hopefully you should get a lot of information in regards to that. Along the lines of the depth of the mining article that we got with the Orion release, or the passenger ship article that we got with the, oh my god, I can't believe I'm forgetting the Starliner release. So yeah, that should be something to look forward to. Now, one of the things that they were saying about the Connie on Reverse the Verse today was in regards to, a lot of people have been kind of questioning whether or not you can have a rear turret on the Connie, and if you can swap out the docking bay for, the P-72 or the, oh man, what is going on with me today? I'm just forgetting ship names all over the place. The other snub fighter, the one that's a kind of an homage to the Mustang, whatever it's called, whatever. People were asking if they couldn't swap that docking ring out with another rearward turret, and Matt Sherman was saying today that it's highly unlikely, because then you would enter into a situation where people are saying, well, if it's a one-for-one swap, then why can't I have just 3 docking bays instead of 3 turrets, where I can have 3 snub fighters? And they just kind of didn't want to kind of go down that rabbit hole. So chances of a rear turret on the Constellation, highly unlikely. Now, we also found out that the Banu Merchantman, which of course is not in production yet, but was slated to go in, I believe, at the beginning of 2016. The Banu Merchantman is probably going to be done in Santa Monica, but no guarantees. And we also found out, and this is kind of a bit of sad news, really. Today we found out that the Drake Dragonfly, they're planning on, it's part of a plan, but they're not really guaranteeing that they're going to do it. And the reason being is they said, well, you guys voted it down for the Reliant. And, I got kind of a little salty about that. I was like, what? It's like, when we were talking about the Drake Dragonfly, like, just a few months ago, but I think it was back in July, and you guys were all like nuts about it. And I remember Lisa Ohanian was talking Drake Dragonfly. Everyone was hyped about it, and now all of a sudden it's like, well, maybe not. After all, you guys voted it down. And I just went, yeah, but you guys kind of re-hyped it up, so kind of a mixed message there. Now, of course, last but certainly not least, we, of course, on the art sneak peek this week, we got to look at the second style board of the Zeon Scout. Now, the Zeon Scout, which is, of course, currently in production and possibly going to be hangar ready very soon, hopefully with one of the next big patches. It would be really great if it was. There's a lot of promising chatter amongst the developers about this ship, and I'm going to be discussing that in the future, but not in the immediate future. I'm just going to hold off a little while until we get a little more info. But the ship is really starting to look amazing, and when you look at it compared to the older artwork, I mean, the ship is really kind of maturing, and the design is looking incredible. And so look forward to, possibly in the next few weeks, I will once again revisit the Zeon Scout and discuss what I like about it, some of the changes that have come into effect in regards to it, and why I think it is a very promising ship for the future in Star Citizen. Anyways, that's it for the show this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it, so go ahead, chill out, enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.